Hello, I am Karen Light, and I'm really excited because we're going to transform these people-pleasing monsters in the next 10 minutes. So before I say anything else, if you don't have something that you can doodle on and doodle with, grab it real quick while I'm giving this intro. And I promise it won't be scary. You don't have to be an artist for this. It's for everyone. We're just going to play here. It'll be worth it. All right, so like I was saying, I'm Karen Light, and I'm a professional artist as well as a creative executive function coach for people who identify as creative. And I love my work because I truly believe that a better world really requires creatives to be successful. We need that energy to create something better. So let me tell you a short story about me that demonstrates a sneaky way that people pleasing finds its way into our lives, right? So a number of years ago, I was applying to grad school and I got completely overwhelmed by the application, just stuck. I didn't know what to say. The words would not come out. And lucky for me, I had a really great coach at the time, and he asked me a really great question. He said to me, Karen, how would you fill out that application? How would I do it? Well, immediately I was like, well, I would draw it, right? Like I'm a visual person and I process everything visually. Things come to me in images. And he said, okay, well, I'm challenging you to do that. And I was like, well, wait, hold on. People don't draw applications, people write applications. This is going to be wrong. I'm not going to be accepted. And furthermore, this is going to take forever. Like I'm going to draw 6 drawings. Like I had like 6, I think there were 6 questions there. But, I trusted him. I went with it. And I was surprised on both counts. First of all, it did not take forever. Once I got into my own way of doing something, my creative way of doing something, I drew like a madwoman. They just flew out. And then guess what happened? The words tumbled straight out afterwards. It was like I had no effort at all. They just came right out. And then, I could have spent forever just staring at my screen. Everybody just done that, stared at something that probably took way longer than if you would have just done an alternative way. Yes, I've even talked myself out of doing things from that point of view, right? And secondly, not only was I accepted, but they were freaking excited about my application. Like, because I submitted the drawings. I did the drawings with the words, and they were like, you stood out. We want to talk to you about your approach, right? So I'm telling you this story because if you are a creative, oftentimes your way of doing things just goes against the grain. It really does. And when we're so conditioned to do things in a typical way, right? We're practicing that people pleasing, like we just want to be accepted and we want to avoid any negative consequences. And we get really practiced at that we forget our creativity sometimes when we need it most. We're not practicing it and it becomes even harder to access. And when we're not practicing and accessing it, we forget to trust it. And I was not trusting in my creative process when I was resistant, right? I didn't think my way of doing things would be accepted. But this was a moment in which I learned that my creativity indeed was a superpower, that it could really help me with all of my goals. So I want to give you all an experience of that, because one way we can start breaking that cycle is to become more aligned with our own creative way of doing things and find our allies, right? We all need some allies to have some different voices in those heads. So let's do it together. We are going to doodle. It's going to be fun. I'm really inviting you into this process with a playful, open-hearted spirit, just seeing what shows up. All right, no talent needed. So first things first, I want you to close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. And as you release, just imagine everything falling out of your brain that doesn't need to be there right now. So we want an open imagination space. And in your imagination space, I want you to bring to mind one way that you people please by doing something the way everyone else does it. It could be simple. It could be something you're doing right now, or you're doing it just to please others. Don't worry, whatever comes up first is totally fine. Let's go with that one. And I want you to notice the challenging feelings that you have around that. Notice those challenging feelings. And without overthinking it, I just want you to pick one of those feelings right now And in the next 60 seconds, I want you to doodle that challenging feeling as a monster. 60 seconds, it's a monster. Let's see what you got. Just play. Don't have to figure out what it's going to look like. You're just going to let this thing unfold. Just seeing what happens. It can be silly, it can be scary, it can be anything. Your monster is your monster. Got about 15 seconds left. All right, make all those final touches. You can always do some more later, but I'm inviting you now. Hold up your monsters. Let's see the monsters in the room. Let's see what the monsters are. Yes. It's such a fun way to look at a hard thing, right? And we can't do anything about the hard thing unless we can see it. And now you can see your monster. So go ahead. All right, close your eyes again. Take another nice deep breath in. Let it out. And now in your imagination space, I want you to imagine that you're sitting right up next to this monster. And you turn and you look at your monster and you ask a really important question. You ask your monster, how can I take better care of you? How can I take better care of you? And as soon as you start hearing the answer, just go ahead and write it down for yourself. We only got about 20 seconds for this part. We're on the quick one, no overthinking time. How can I take better care of you? Sometimes our answers might seem silly or even irrelevant, but go with it, trust it. A few more seconds, just get the essence of it out. You can always reflect on this more later. All right, I want you to close your eyes one more time. Take a nice deep breath in and let it out. And now in that imagination space, I want you to see yourself doing what your monster said. I want you to see yourself taking care of that monster. And as you take care of the monster, I want you to notice how the appearance of your monster starts to change. It starts to look a little different when it's being taken care of. For the next 30 seconds, I want you to doodle your changed monster. Flip the page, do a new doodle. What is your monster changing into? Let it unfold as you doodle. Again, you don't have to figure this all out ahead of time. Maybe it starts to feel different. I'm going to give you guys about another 15 seconds or so. Just let it unfold. Just let it speak to you. See what happens. Let it surprise you. All right, no matter where you are, let's hold up and see what allies we got in this room. What are these allies looking like? Yes. If you want to, if you're so inspired while I'm wrapping up here, please put some words in the chat. What is your ally like? What feelings come up around your ally? I love seeing these. These are all different parts of us, right? So, we had to do this exercise super, super quick, but really encourage you to keep playing here, reflecting with this and spending some time. I have a lot more creative exercises. If you go to howdoodle.com, I'll put the link in there too. You can get your free Awaken Guide, 3 doodle prompts to awaken your creativity, to make progress on your goal in 15 minutes or less. But even if these are the only 2 doodles that you ever do, I really hope they can serve as a touchstone. They're a place you can check in when you're like, am I people pleasing? Am I just doing this to go with everybody else? Well, how do you feel? Do you feel more like the monster? Or are you feeling like your ally? How can we listen more to that ally and integrate it more so that we can really step into our creativity towards all that is important to us? So thank you so much. Looking forward to reading the chat, and I'll stick my link in.